And a very, very warm welcome to our Facebook live session again on Friday, 26th of March 2021. My name is Claudia van Zuiden.
And my name is Arturo Massaro.
And together we are Conscious World Agents. Every week we have our Facebook live session. And we're very happy that every month we have also one guest speaker. And last week we had a fantastic speaker, Knut Alrid Hanstad from Norway, who spoke about the global new renaissance. And that's also now on our podcast and on our YouTube channel. So if you've missed that, perhaps you want to have a look and a listen.
It's a very inspiring interview, really.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. Yeah. So, we had so much feedback from that. People also watched it afterwards who said, wow, that was really a different way of looking at things and opened their eyes and inspired them as well. So if you feel that you would like to listen to that, then go to our podcast, Conscious World Agents, on Spotify and or on our YouTube channel. You'll find us there as well.
Yeah.
So our posts this week were about...
Well, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you really? And what can you do different or more to expand your level of consciousness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we both wrote two posts about, I did in my post, wrote about this as well, but I also gave some experiments in there, so things you can try, and you also do that sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
So, and I had some wonderful feedback from some women from that who I spoke to last night as well in a Zoom call, and they said they really found it really helpful. So if you missed those, maybe go and have a look on our Facebook page and go over the posts again. And there are some things that you can try really to expand your level of consciousness. So sometimes we like to put little giveaways in our posts like that as well for you, so I hope they're really helpful. So my post this week, the first one, was about total peace.
Yeah. Total
peace within. You already have that. So it's not really something that you have to search for, but because you are so busy, and I can also be very busy with my mind sometimes when my analytical mind is really full on, then I really can through meditation switch off and go to that place where there is really peace within, because it's already there. And we also don't have to look for it outside ourselves, because it's really here. But what we hear from people is that they really find it hard to connect with that level. And you know, I'm also a yoga teacher. Some of you might know that, for about 20 years. And I've practiced yoga for about 40 years. So it's quite some experience there. And every time I'm still growing with that, or still evolving with that as well. And the last few weeks have been really powerful in my own experience, especially working with the third eye chakra. There are some things happening there. And I find this true peace within myself. And that is completely a new experience, but you can also do that. So it's a matter of practicing more and more, because it's already there, but you need to make steps in order for you to make that connection. So I will say let that peace find you, because it is there, but because you are so busy focusing on outward things or perhaps other inward things, that peace cannot really connect with you, with your higher self. And also the post was about life. Life is dynamic. Life happens all the time in everything. Look, and if you live in the northern hemisphere, and thanks everybody for watching now as well, who was here. But if you are living in the northern hemisphere, you'll see spring is happening. So life is here. We see the little lambs, we see the flowers starting to grow again. It's continuously happening. And actually we can't control life as such. Life just happens. What we can control is how you respond to life, how you experience life. So we have a choice in there, but if you have the capacity, and this can really develop by practicing meditation more and more, to connect with that deep peace that's already there, then when challenging situations happen in your life, you are able to realize that and say, life is happening in this way right now, and this emotion is coming in me. And that's absolutely fine to let that arise, but I don't have to react on that. I can react from this stillness, this peace also. And that takes some practice, but it will help you to experience life in a more aware, a more conscious level. And from that, you can also see that you can in some way control your life. And why is that? Because you start to make conscious choices. You start to then have conscious experiences. You know that if you do certain things, they might not give you that stillness that you're seeking to connect with again within yourself. It might take you away from that. So you make conscious choice, say, well, that is not so helpful if I engage with that. It's more helpful if I choose to do this. It's also more helpful if I think like this, or if I act like that, and how I relate like that. So that level becomes more and more conscious, and that is going to give you more inner peace, because you don't then let life affect you too much just randomly. You start to make conscious choices in how life is in some level happening to you. So life itself, people say also, yeah, but that's just life, and there's life and death. And I don't believe that. I believe there is birth and death, and that is life. That whole cycle from birth to death, that is life. And we have a choice how we are experiencing that life. And that is not always easy. My life has also been challenging at times, and sometimes still is. Whatever is different is that I also have faith that I learn from those challenges, I learn from those experiences. And I have faith that whatever comes on my path is there to help me to learn more about my patterns, my conditioning, seeing if I'm still connecting with people out of conditioning, or really from my true self, from my authentic self. So, and when I make those choices, I want to make those choices coming from that uniqueness from me, because my unique particle in me, my true essence is a unique particle of God, a unique particle of the infinite potential that we are. And through Conscious World Agents, we speak about this because when you become more conscious, you start to expand your consciousness. Everything becomes more alive in your life as well. Your life becomes richer that way, and you become a designer of your life, so the creator or creatrix of your life. And that is a wonderful experience. So I gave everybody an experiment to connect with that essence within yourself every day. So for 7 days, connect with that essence in your meditation for about 5 minutes, and just then notice how you feel afterwards when you really connect with your true self, when you let go of all the conditioning, all the old things that you think that you are. If you can let go of that, all the labels, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a teacher, I'm all that, let go of that. And what's left of all that, just experience how that is to connect with that for 5 minutes. Notice how you feel afterwards and write it down in a journal and just see what it does to you. So that was my first post, and I still do that myself as well. So I hope that's helpful for you, and would love to hear in whatever way or form that is beneficial.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That's beautiful because you now meditate a lot on the third eye.
Yeah.
And you see also these fragments, these fractals.
Fractals, yeah. I really like a universe and a universe and a universe all the time, and that is quite an amazing experience. But we can talk a little bit more about that. I'm not attached to it as such, but it's a new experience because I feel what happens. The analytical mind goes away, and something activates in my pineal gland. Yeah. And there is this surge of love, and it's like a healing energy which then starts to flow through the whole of the body. And it's been shown, and Joe Dispenza speaks really about this. Yeah. We listened to this the other day because I'm studying it more and more, is that it has an effect not only on you, but it also has an effect on your environment. So to the point actually that it can change DNA. Mm-hmm. Not within me, but also around us. So it's an incredible process. But that is the level that we We think we want to explore
Yeah.
more, but that will be also part of the Fifth Leaf Clover program
Yeah.
that we are working on. So we'll inform you more on that. But that's it's our inner journey also all the time, and that's where I'm at the moment. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you talked also about expanding your level of consciousness. My post was about AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And you hear a lot about that nowadays. But basically, it's already there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Because AI means attention and intention. And with that, you can create everything you want. Yeah. And what does it mean? Attention means being in the now, having the focus on one thing. And it gives you energy, it gives you willpower. And it expands also the level how you can cope with all these distractions that you have, how you can deal with that. Yeah. So it helps you also to overcome all these obstacles. So pay attention right now, here, in this moment. The intention is about having a vision, seeing something that another person maybe cannot see, and you feel it. You have that image in you. And that's so important to have, because that is also your guideline. That's also the path, more or less the path that you can follow. But the path you can only follow when you pay attention in the here and now. If you only are in the intention and you're constantly there, you don't experience what's happening now, you don't see what's happening, what's coming on your path, so you forget that. And having the intention is really expanding your level of consciousness. It's constantly looking for how can I create things, and creation has to do, the whole cosmos, the whole universe is made out of photons. So if you create, if you have that vision, you're constantly trying to create these photons into matter, into some physical form. So AI is having the attention by having an intention for the future, being in the now, and then the next part, that's probably the one that's the toughest for a lot of people. After that, you need to let go. Be here, that's it. Have faith that the universe will help you. Everything you send out, that's the intention, you will get back. What's the energy? How big is your desire in this? And the universe knows when and how it will come to you. The only thing you have to do is having the intention and the attention in the here and now. But what I see a lot of people do is they try to control when it will happen and how it will happen.
Yeah.
And what it basically, if you do that, then you say to the universe, I don't trust you. I can do it better. Well, go on in your life, please. But I can guarantee you the universe has so much more to give to you than you think you can, you're worth for. So AI, having attention, setting an intention, and let go, and have fun in the here and now. This week I had a coaching session in a company, and the lady asked me, well, how are you doing? I said, well, I feel great, I'm happy, and everything is going well. The first thing she asked, how can you be happy? How do you do that? And that's being in the now, really. And I set my intentions, and we do that together also, but we try to be as much as possible in the here and now. And that's the attention, and there is your luck, there is your happiness, there is your love.
Yeah, there's also something when you say like with the photons and it will
Yeah.
manifest. Do you want to say a little bit more about that? I think that might be helpful as well.
Yeah, I think I already said it 2 or 3 weeks ago. But if you didn't watch that Facebook Live, what they did, this experiment, they in a vessel they made it vacuum. So they took out all the air and all this stuff. And then they looked, are there still photons in that vessel? And there were. There were a lot of photons still there, but they were at random going everywhere. Then they put in the vessel, still in a vacuum situation, they put a small part of DNA of a human being. Then they looked again at the photons. And what happened? The photons were not at random all over the vessel. They started to create a DNA. They saw really the spiral of the I don't know if you call it the spiral from the DNA.
The helix, huh?
The helix, yeah. They saw the photons were making the helix. And what they noticed that the DNA influences the photons. And the photons are really all the stuff that you see around you are made out of photons. It's the energy. And they went even further. If you feel happy, what they saw with about the helix relaxed, and it's almost doubled multiplied, yes, I think so, yeah. It always almost multiplied. If the person of the DNA was thinking in bad things, having frustration, the helix went tight. It went almost to a knot, and so that it always almost got together. So, and that person got sick. So your DNA must be free, loose, and then it can heal your body, it can do much more. But it's about having love, feeling happiness, having bliss. And in the Sanskrit they said Sat Chit Ananda. It's existence, consciousness and bliss. And that's it. Having the bliss, that feeling, being here in the now. And what you do then, you influencing your own DNA. And then go back to the first part, your DNA influence the photons. So if you take out the DNA, because that's in all both, you take out the DNA, you are influencing the photons around you. Yeah. And that's the universe. And it's up to you what you want to send out. It's making a conscious decision. Do you want to be happy or not? It's up to you. And life is not always easy. That's not what we say. We also have our moments of, that we feel maybe down, or I had it about 2 weeks ago. And I had a short moment of, I was feeling a little bit sad. But still, I was in the here and now, and I could see that I was sad, and it was okay. I didn't label it as bad or, I don't want to be sad. No, I was sad. Okay, it's okay. I cried sometimes. That's okay. Yeah. And then you can change the emotions, and then you can change the photons again. Nice. Is that more or less what you mean?
Yeah, I think it's helpful if people haven't seen what you're mentioning and how that would work. I think you explained it clear enough. Yeah. So. And how important that is, to realize that how your state of being is affects also your surroundings. We all know if you walk into a room and there is like people call it a heavy energy, if you want to label it, you can sense that, and it can have an effect on you. But if you are able to connect with that authentic self, the true essence of what you are. Yeah. Because a lot of people say, but how do I do it then, being happy? And what is happiness? Yeah. Happiness to me is accepting all that arises. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And knowing that you have a freedom inside you that your true essence will never be affected by your outer circumstances. It will never. It's always like that. It's already perfect. And if you start to become more and more aware of it, and through meditation probably, or some people can have it instantly, I don't know. But if you become aware, sometimes you have a glimpse of that. That's where the true happiness starts. And you start to see and notice in yourself when it amplifies. And often what we hear from people, it amplifies when they are surrounded by people that they really care for, they love, sacred kindred spirits. This connection starts to happen. They can give something from themselves. That creates happiness. So my second post was about what I love doing in life is helping people. Helping people to get unstuck. Because in my life, I've seen many, many people being stuck. And they couldn't move forward. Or they say, they used to say, I've said it before, that I want a little bit of what you have. And I used to have a business before, and that was totally not related to what I do now in coaching. I do that now and so forth. But I ended always up, people ask me about certain things, and you might have had the same. It's like they come for advice, or they come up for a bit of mentoring. And what I noticed, they were stuck. But they were often stuck because they didn't know that they were amazing human beings. They had this conditioning in their mindset that prevented them from becoming the true, beautiful potential that they really were. And just by asking them certain questions, they become aware of that. They became aware of that freedom that they could let go of all the conditioning that they started to believe as truth, and they became free. And in that freedom, they started to make different choices. They started to look at what really works for me, because when they were feeling good themselves, their whole environment started to benefit from that. So not only themselves. So by creating your own inner happiness, you're creating happiness for other beings. So that is something that I really feel there is such a lack of, because there's so many people, and we talked about it this morning after our meditation, there is such a lack in people's hearts for their self-worth. Knowing that you are worthy of living the life you deserve, a life that is in full alignment with your blueprint. And it's like in their head is that little voice saying, but you're not worth it. They are, but you're not. And that is something we need to let go of, because when you can let go of that, you can make steps, small steps first, if you wish, if you need some courage to take those steps towards that desired outcome that your soul is longing for. So that's what I really love helping people with. And to understand, like I said in the beginning of today's session, that we have no control on some outer circumstances, but you have control over your inner happiness, how to create your own inner happiness. And that starts with realizing that you are already free inside. And when you start to make choices from that space in your heart where there is that freedom, your authentic self, if you are able to sometimes connect with that heart being that you are, that is full of joy, that is full of creativity, full of purpose, your life is most likely going to change. So first of all, we need to know how to do that. And like I said, the experiment that I mentioned, just sitting by that and just starting to let go of all the labels. It's like a big onion. Imagine taking all those layers off, all the labels that you put yourself on, and then just visualize this light in your heart that every time when you inhale, lights up a bit bigger, and when you exhale, you spread that out also into your environment. And just do that, and just notice what starts to happen. And that, I think, is the first step to becoming aware of your consciousness, your own consciousness, and that you have somehow an effect on how you create your reality by knowing how you think and knowing how you act. Those are the first steps that will make an impact in getting unstuck in your life and moving towards this expansion of consciousness. Because once you start to do that, it just keeps going and going. Like the universe, it's continuously expanding itself. And so are you. Your energy levels, if you see what happens in your heart center when you do this more and more, they can now measure, science is showing us this, that we are just going further and further and further. So surround yourself also with people, environments that have that same kind of experience that you might feel when you're in that meditation in your heart, because that will attract even more of that in your life. So and we both can really vow for that ourselves.
Absolutely. You said you like to help people.
Yeah.
Is there a distinguish between helping people and being the savior?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't want to save people, because that's not up to me. But people sometimes come say, I want to get unstuck. Yeah. And they say, do you have some tools? And then we go like that. So it's, it's not like going on the street and saying, can I help you? And can I help you? No. It's more like if people come to me, or like this, what we're doing now, we can just put it out there in the universe, and the universe will let it go wherever it needs to go. And whoever will need to hear what we're saying will listen to it. And that's how it works. And then I'll let it go.
Yeah, so don't force it. You need to watch it.
No, because everybody's on their own path. And I've been under the guidance of quite a few teachers in my life, my yoga teachers from India and so forth. It is my journey. So when I'm ready to get there, that's how it is. And it's not that. when I say, well, you need to do it right now. There's nothing like that. So I'm not.
Yeah, but that's also the reason why I ask.
Yeah.
Because in the Netherlands now we have, I think, 50% of the people are coaches, or and we all want to help people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a nice step to my post. Is where is this helping others coming from?
Yeah, nice.
Is that really coming from being totally empty and just give without accepting or expecting anything else in return? Yeah. Or do you want to help so that you can show how good you are, that you expect from the other person constantly recognition? And my second post was about honesty. And honesty is, for me, one of the key stones in everybody's life. It's not only in the relationship. There's honesty is crucial for me, but also I think for us, for both of us.
Definitely.
But it starts with being honest to yourself.
Yeah.
So if you are going to help people, where is it really coming from? And is it to feel yourself much better? Then my tip would be, stop at that moment being the savior for another person, but go inwards. Go inwards and ask yourself, where is this feeling coming from? Yeah. What kind of feeling is it? Is there a lack of fulfillment? Do I feel frustration, or is there something happened in my youth? I don't know what it is. We all have our, I say sometimes we all have our shit in our life, and I don't know what you experienced in your life. You don't know what I experienced in my life, so don't judge it from each other. Have the compassion for the other person, and if the other person asks for help, do what you can do. But what I see is that a lot of other people are, they hear a story and they jump on it. Oh, then you have to do this and do that. Take this medicine or take this. Yeah. But then it's all about you. Yeah. And that's so hard to hear sometimes. It's all about you. And if it's all about you, you're not helping the other person, you're trying to help yourself. So be honest. How do I want to live? Totally free, just like Claudia said, in some kind of bliss. And of course there's not every second only bliss and happiness.
No. That's what we said, yeah.
But ask these kind of questions. Where is it coming from? What am I still doing that I don't want? I say something to other person, but was this meant for myself or not? All these kind of things. And don't judge it. It's there. But don't judge it. If you judge it, you label it, you make it bigger, you make it heavier. So just be honest and feel the relief if you are honest to yourself. And it's one of the biggest things that changed my life. Being honest to myself. And you know, I don't have my white lies anymore that I maybe had. I don't have to make it more soft for another person or for myself. And this honesty will help you to raise your level of consciousness to a much, much higher degree. And it's also, I call it the safety net. There's a safety, how do you say that? I think safety net. Okay. You cannot drop. You cannot fall underneath that level at a certain moment. It goes up and sometimes go down, but it never goes down to this level anymore. If you're honest to yourself. So try to change the things in life where you, well, I don't say lie to yourself, but where you're not completely honest, and do more where you show your honesty. Feel what you feel then. And then, if you then give and you're going to help people, it's totally, completely different. It's beautiful, and people feel the difference.
Yeah, they feel it, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a very good point. And still, if people, want to coach and help others, that's absolutely fine. Mostly the intention is absolutely from a very generous and kind and empathic and compassionate stance. Yeah. But it's good to reflect on that. And I had no intention, for example, of starting to teach yoga, but I was working in nursing, and then I'm tall, and I did yoga, and I never had problems with my back, and we had to do quite a lot of lifting, and then some of the girls said, well, can you not teach us, because you never have a problem? And that's how my teaching started with yoga, for example. Or then when some people say, okay, but can you not start to coach me? Or, and then people say, can you not teach me everything you know? And then I made my whole program. Yeah. And things like that. But it was like, that was not the intention. But they saw the effect, what it has on you. So when you start to embody it, then people say, that's what I meant. Like, I want to be what you have, because you do it like that. You embody it and you express yourself that way. So and
I like the word radiate always. You radiate it. Yeah. And if you radiate it, that's you influencing your own DNA, you're influencing the DNA of the other person, and you're influencing the photons. Yeah. So if you really radiate it, you live it, then you influence your surroundings. Yeah. Not only your own body, your own physical, emotional body, and all these kind of things, but you also influence your surroundings. Yeah, and I think that's why we love, for example, giving our workshops, and like tomorrow we have online our experience day. For those who want to know, you can still subscribe to that. So tomorrow morning, it's a whole day, and we can send you some information. There's also an event page on Facebook you can have a look at, and that's where we go deeper into this. But that's why we love doing that ourselves, because also we every time experience another level or a deepening or something like that, or just the joy of sharing what helps us. So if you know, or if you already attended, or if you know someone, just spread the word if it feels okay for you, if it resonates, because we really feel we want to help people in that way, showing that there are signposts, there are tools that can help people to have a happier life. And but if they don't know about it, how to, I'm sure you know people in your own environment who would love to, but they just don't know how. So if this resonates, then go on our website, www.consciousworldagents.com, and go to Experience Day and have a look. And if that feels right for you, great. Sign up if you want to online. And otherwise, on the 17th of April, we hold one again in the Netherlands. And that's a physical one.
Yeah.
It's here in Bussum.
Yeah. So that's also on there. So you can also have a look at that. What else did I want to say? I think that's quite a lot we've spoke about today. Yeah? And like you were saying, we also you go through your own emotions.
Yeah.
All these things help us too. So it's not that we are a master in it and therefore we share everything. No, it's a continuous process that we're also going through. But how wonderful is it if we can share it? Because we noticed that on, for example, the last experience day, just by sharing this honesty that you're coming from and I'm coming from and the people are coming from, you create this strength, this vulnerability amongst people that we can trust each other, and we all want to be happy. That is I think the ultimate wish for every human being. We want to be happy, and let's help each other to do so. And we like to do it the way we do it.
Yeah. And again, if you have the same feeling and you want to experience your level of consciousness, you want to explore it, and maybe you want to expand it, tomorrow again, our CWA Experience Day can help you definitely, and it also can help you to find your purpose, at least a big part of it, and we will make the first steps towards that destiny that you really want. And what Claudia already said, you're worth it. You're worth it to have that life that you want.
Absolutely. And sometimes that can be a bit scary also. Say, well, but then what? Just start. You deserve it. So just make one step towards it, and wow, you'll never look back.
Yeah, nice. So Experience Day tomorrow, April 17th, live here in Bussum, and next week we are going to have a few posts, and the topic we talked about mindfulness. Not this week, but it was the week before. This week we talked about who are you. And next week the topics will be about heartfulness. It's living from the heart. Yeah. And how can this help you to make the next step for yourself?
To expand your consciousness. And I look forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. And everybody is still here, and for everybody who will watch afterwards, and we will post this also on our YouTube channel and on our podcast, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow or next week. And just to say that tomorrow the Experience Day online version is in English, but of course we speak both Dutch, so if you're a Dutch speaking participant, we can also explain some of the things in Dutch, which will be very easy as well. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful evening or morning wherever you are in the world.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, a very restful and relaxed weekend. Okay. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that you are with us, and we wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.